Hello everyone, this is Jim and welcome to episode 11 of oTech Minecraft. We've got a little bit to go through today. It's been a little while since the last episode. And in the meantime, all... ooh, 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 all this has been happening. So things have changed quite a bit around here since the last episode. Now I did try and record some of getting this together, and I tried, but it wasn't very good. The problem with making all this stuff around here is I did it in a very kind of disjointed fashion. So a little bit over here and a little bit over here, and I kept a checklist of stuff I needed to get from the base, and then had to jump in the helicopter and fly off back to the base and fly back again. And the video that I made just wasn't very good. So let's have a bit of a look around here. I won't go into too much detail or else we'll be here forever. So we'll just do a little bit of an overview, and then we'll focus on the good bits, maybe like that guy over there and maybe the trains and things. So since last episode, first thing I realised was the power setup we had on our frame quarry was never going to work. We need a lot of power for that, and so in the end, I ummed and ahed about a few different power systems, and in the end, I went for biofuel. So this stuff here, we're going to ship this off down to the train it off down to the quarry down there. Now to make the biofuel you need a whole lot of different saplings and crops and things, and then basically that's what this tree farm's all about. We get a whole lot of different saplings and different crops, just some basic mine factory reloaded. There's a harvester there and a planter there and some solar panels powering it all. So all that stuff gets harvested and put into these crates here, just sorted through with some Buildcraft pipes. That one's empty. So like we got some acacia saplings and nothing. Oh wait, it's a bit slow. Normal saplings, oak saplings, blah 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 blah. And then a little bit of a setup here to send them through. Have just a limited amount in a crate here, and then a sorting machine from Blue Power to send it all over here to our little bioreactor. And then this guy is what actually makes the biofuel. Not running at the moment because we've got so much. So it turns out if I leave this running in its current state, in less than 2 days it'll fill up this. Oops, sorry, I'll stop moving around. This tank gets filled in less than 2 days, and it's got what, 2 million millibuckets. So we're pretty right for fuel. Then this fuel will then get trained off, so we'll have a look at all that, the trains, in a minute. We have some overflow here from the tree farm, so storing a whole lot of logs and things like that, and we've got some industrial craft rubber trees in there, so we get a lot of sticky resin for industrial craft, which is handy. All this stuff we'll probably just keep here for use here. We won't actually send all this back to the base. The only thing we might send back to the base is all this sticky resin. And then the rest of the overflow goes here from the tree farm. So we've just got some charcoal being generated, just some simple basic charcoal generation there. Don't need anything too fancy. And then we've got an industrial craft recycler. So that's making us some scrap. Whoa, which is full. The grid crafter is then making scrap boxes. And then these are then being put into crates. So we'll use these scrap boxes for industrial craft further down the road, probably to make some UU matter, but we'll leave that for now. Now the trains we'll get to in a sec, but say this train's come in and unloaded all the goodies from the quarry, they end up in here, which then gets sent off up to here, and then we've got a whole little logistics system here. Basically this system is for making block breaker heads, these guys for our block breakers, ender pearls to run our the anchor cart, that's what it's called, the anchor cart on the train to keep it chunk loaded. And then over here we've got some rails being crafted, so some tracks for our rail system again. And one more thing, coal coke in here for fuel for our little train. And so we just keep enough stuff to be able to do that from our... Stop moving. I'd love it if we had a better hover mode on this. So we just keep enough stuff from our frame quarry around to be able to do those things. So there's a whole separate little system here which I won't go into detail. And then over here, this is where all the rest of the stuff comes and just gets stored here. As you can see, I've been pilfering some things locally anyway. And then we're going to have a train here eventually to, well, soon, to take all this stuff back off to the base. Oh, can't sleep on a torch. So yeah, so that's, look, didn't go into too much detail, but basically fuel production and item production for things we need to keep things going. Now the trains, had a lot of fun. I haven't really done much railcraft before. Had railcraft in mods, part of our mod pack for years and years, and then haven't really done much with trains. A little bit, but nothing really fancy. And it was quite fun working out all the different systems here. So we'll just start off our train. Let's see, we'll give it a bit of fuel. Whoops. So we've got some charcoal there. We'll just start our train and we'll show you what happens when it comes back from the quarry. Give him some fuel, some water, and we'll turn off that. Okay, there he goes. Or not. Once he gets... So this basic system here is essentially to fill up with biofuel and send it down to the frame quarry. Put ender pearls for the anchor cart. Oh, look at that, I've got nice signs telling us what it's doing. Unloading all the goodies from the frame quarry under there, and they go over across to there. And then supplying block breaker heads and rails to send back down to the frame quarry as well. So to do all that, oh, here he comes. Good, good, good. Oop. So they get stopped there, and then they get decoupled. So off goes our locomotive to sit over there. Then goes the tank cart to top up there. And another tank cart. Again, I've got 3 tank carts and 3 chest carts. So they all go back and join up to our little locomotive there. The anchor cart then goes and fills up with ender pearls there. It just keeps a couple of ender pearls in it. Here goes another tank cart. And then these chest carts will come along and go up there and unload their stuff. And then one will then load up with the tracks and the breaker heads on that one there. Then this guy will come in, unload, and bypass that and go and join up. This guy will come in, again unload, nothing in them at the moment, that's why they're zipping through, and then the train reforms over here and off he goes. So these are a whole lot of coupler tracks to join our train together, and when he gets to the right length he gets put back together and heads back down to our frame quarry system, which has got a little bit bigger since last time. So he comes in, and then he'll basically over there he unloads the block breaker heads and the track, then comes through here, unloads as much biofuel is as needed up there for our tank, our drum up there. So he's unloading a bit at the moment. That's probably, how much stuff is in there? 221, 225. So yeah, slowly unloading. We zip over here. Oop. So we can see this guy is unloading, and the biofuel going up to there, to that little drum there. Once that's either full or the cart is empty, then this will zip along and move along to the next tank cart. As we can see, there's our anchor cart, keeping everything chunk loaded. Oh, and I don't know if we had this last time, we've got iron chest mine carts on here. go, there's the next tank. Basically it means you can put the iron chests into minecarts, which means we've got a whole lot more storage per minecart, which is very, very handy. Having said that though, I think I hardly fill up any of the chests. Now over here, this is where the chest carts are getting loaded up from all the goodies from our frame quarry, which are in here and here. Slowly will get unloaded down to into here, and then once all this stuff's been emptied out, and or each chest is full, one or the other, this will then zip off again. And how long are we going to wait for that? A little while. So let me just pause here, and we can then wait and see the train leaving. In fact, while he's charging up, you see over there, that's where our bioreactors are, that or biogenerators that use the biofuel to create power. So they generate the power and store it in that little capacitor there. So that's where we're sort of making our power and storing it on this big contraption here. And then that then gets transferred into our big drill that we had last time. So the drill's been modified a bit. We'll have a closer look in a sec. But basically we're generating the power on this structure and then transferring it to the drill once it's here, and unloading all the items here once it gets back up. So once our train goes, we'll get everything moving again. The only thing really left to automate this is a computer craft program, which I've probably been putting off. A little reluctant to write computer craft code at the moment, but yeah, so it's been very hard to make an episode with all this, because it's just been done in bits and bobs, and it's meant a lot of fiddling around and trying to figure out a good way to work things. Now, as you can tell, this is not the most optimized method of doing things. It's probably the bulkiest frame quarry you will ever see, but that was kind of the point, really, to have it not do any teleporting and things like that. So we're nearly ready. We're nearly unloaded, are we? Quick look. Oh, wait, yes, no, wait, yes. Oh, still going. Okay, yeah. So yes, not the fastest things in the world. We might need to speed this up a bit, I think. Speed up these pipes as we get some more resources. Because some parts are slow, but again, it doesn't have to be the most super fast thing in the world. It's really just to build the infrastructure. It's been fun. Oh, and I'm just looking in the locomotive now. It also got filled up with coal coke and water back up at the base while it's when it got all decoupled up there. The locomotive sat there, and there it goes. It gets topped up with fuel and water, so he's all happy too. And then off he goes back up to the base to unload all the goodies and stock up with all the things he needs. Which brings us to this baby. Right. Basically, the principle is that this big contraption here will push the drill head forward, and then the drill head will go all the way down and all the way up like we saw last time. And then this will top it up with power and empty its items out. So let's just go over here and do the first bit here. And now there is some signals to do this, some wireless redstone, but we'll just tap on that guy there, see, and he pushes the drill forward like that. And then the drill can then go all the way down, be moved along, and get that next line down there. Now, as you can see, I moved this all down from up there since last episode, and I've done a little bit of mining as well. So we'll start that drill heading down. I've just got it on a little timer signal. Actually, before I forget, at the back here, wait. Ooh. See, this is why I need a computer craft program to do this, because I keep forgetting things. So we'll move this big contraption forward, so that moves the whole thing forward, and then that leaves this gap here for the track, which we then have a little signal here, somewhere. It's a bit of a rabbit warren around here. Click. So then we've got two autonomous activators to then lay the base and track. So this is where the track goes that we pick up there. We bring it into here, and there's one over on the other side there as well. Just some pulse formers and things to make sure it only lays one base and one bit of track. So we've got two autonomous activators there. Cool. Alright, now let's start up this drill, get it heading down. Up here. So yes, it's a very manual system at the moment, so that's the signal to send the drill down. So I've just got a timer here, 10 seconds per move. We could probably do it a bit quicker than that, but that's all we're going to use for the moment because it's all manual anyway. And you can see here I've got when we wake up, I've got a computer here looking at the blue power bundle cable to see if it could handle that. Yeah, and I've got to write that. So hopefully by the next episode I'll have all that written. So let's head back down here and hopefully see our drill heading down. It'd be really nice if we could sort of paint those frame blocks, because then we could have different color drill and different color base to sort of distinguish them a bit better. But anyway, one day maybe that's a feature that'll be added to Funky Locomotion. So off he goes, down he goes. And yeah, so basically this whole setup here, again there's the biofuel production. He charges up this guy, and which sends the power across to this guy when it's at the top. Yeah, so it looks pretty complex. It's fairly simple. It's just there's a lot of infrastructure in place to do these little basic tasks. Now there is a couple of extra things on the drill here. So yeah, the ender generators are gone that we had there, so it just gets the power directly from here. So it's got its local storage of power, which is transferred from there when it's there. And then, so the block breakers, as we saw last time, I have made some changes. We'll land here. I've made some changes to the block breakers since last time. They were digging fluids, so whenever it had some water, it was digging water, which was a bit of a pain. And it was also digging all the Glen's gases all the time. So we'd be wearing out the block breaker heads just by sitting above a gas or a fluid. So, for example, you can see a whole lot of gas down the bottom there. So it was a bit of a pain. So I've changed the block breakers so they don't break Glen's gases, and they don't break fluids anymore. Ooh, hello, Wither Witch. And I've also added some new machines to OBS machines. These guys, these coagulators. So can we snag one of these guys? You know what? We'll do a bit of a cheat. Cheat. And look for these. So these are another new machine I've added to OBS machines. We'll give us one of these guys. These are sort of inspired a little bit by an old by which by an old Zycraft block. If anyone remembers that vaporware. Basically, it will, any fluids that touch the side of it, will turn into a solid block. So it also works with Glen's gases. So if we put that there, so the gas that touches the side gets turned into these soft coagulated blocks. These are just so the soft ones don't have any real hardness, and they don't drop the block when they break. But if we put a bucket of water, no, we'll go find some water. And with the Glen's gases, I tried to get the colour matching right so that the different colours turn into the right coloured coagulated stuff. But if you put it next to a source block of something, like a water block, where's this guy? Well, for a flowing block, it'll just turn into like those. Except they're not soft ones. Interesting. Bug. So the hard coagulated ones, you can actually get the blocks, but that should only happen on source blocks, but that didn't happen on the source block. But basically that's the theory, and the idea is for if it runs across a gas, the reason I'm using them on the drill is if it finds water or something, or if it goes through a lake, then it'll turn all the fluids into these coagulated blocks to prevent sort of more fluids flowing all over the place. It's not a perfect system, but once we get some more of these coagulators onto the drill, then it'll make it a bit nicer. And there's the drill just going down slowly. Okay, so that's about summary of the last month of what I've been working on here. Now let's see. Oh, and there goes our train again. So now this guy should just keep going and going now. As long as I remember to fill in the little gap in the track whenever we move that forward, that guy should just go all the way down, unload the stuff he needs to unload, and load up the stuff he needs to load up, and then come back up here and do all his thing here. It took a while and a bit of fiddling and a bit of tweaking and changing to get it to do all that without having to require any manual intervention. It took me a while to get these sort of figured out properly. Sometimes things don't switch just at the right speed. Sometimes with server lag, the switches don't switch correctly, but I think I'm allowed for that mostly. So yeah. Oh, and these little guys just lock all the carts. If they zip through before the locomotive is back over there, then these will just prevent the carts going through and ending up in front of the locomotive. So that's about the system. And there it is. Not much sort of to this base in terms of looks. As you can see, it's all made of wood because I was getting so much wood from that tree farm and things there. So now we can get on with the good stuff. This has been fun, but it's been a lot of technical fiddling and stuff, so we can actually start building something now that we're getting some resources. Well, once I write that little computer program. But what I have been building, I've just started this. There's some world errors. Is this baby. Basically, we've got to build a track for our next train to send everything back to the base. And this is the start of it. So let's have a look at our map. Here we are. So here's the base for the frame quarry there. And there it's digging out everything there. Train will drop stuff off. So we want to send a train from here all the way. Let's zoom out a bit more. From here all the way across back to our base. So there's a bit of area to cover there. So the train, I thought, well, let's build some cool stuff, some bridges. You can't go wrong with bridges, particularly when you're doing train tracks. So I've started a big bridge here. Any ideas what might have inspired this bridge? Still a work in progress, but it's getting there. Yes, it's going to be a big suspension bridge across this. Wow, there's a bit of a gap. It's actually about 100 blocks across and 100 blocks to 100 blocks diagonally. That's the word. So it has to be a diagonal bridge, and so there'll be a track. Well, there's going to be room for 2 tracks, but the track itself is only going to go one way on this, but we can get more into that as we go. So this is good, being able to build some stuff again. So I need some more goodies from our quarry. I'm running a bit low on this red sandstone down there, and then we can sort of get moving on this and get a nice big structure in place. Well, that's a big episode of me blabbing on about things. I think that's going to have to do us today. So yeah, a bit of a talky one. Anyone has any questions about any of this system, leave them in the comments. As I said, this is not an optimal system, so there'll be plenty of suggestions about what's far more optimized than this, but I kind of wanted to go a big infrastructure system, so that's why this is all like this. But yeah, so next episode we'll get back into actually doing stuff, and rather than me talking all the time. In by the next episode, I will have written that little computer craft program in the background so that our quarry down there runs by himself, and then we can have all the resources coming in, and then we can get on with building stuff and looking at the other mods and things. But it has inspired me a bit, particularly the rail system. May look at making some bigger rail networks around the place. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.